Oh, my name's Fox, and so 9-bit Fox. Tonight I didn't just see it. I saw it last night, but then I fell asleep. But I fell asleep when I came home. I saw The Bad Guys, which this was something that Mr. Styro, he said like, "Are you gonna react to this?" I'm like, I probably will. Forgot to do it, but the trailer came up like when I went to go see Sonic and all this other stuff, and like I first saw screenshots. Like I first saw pictures of Miss Tarantula, which I love her design. And then like Wolf and all this stuff, and like I saw a little bit of the trailer, and like I kind of did what I did with Spider-Man No Way Home. I kind of just blocked my ears, I closed my eyes for the rest of it. All I saw was that the guy said, "Oh, I'm the big bad wolf," and that's kind of where. And I'm like, you know what? The art style looks cool. I'm just gonna go off of that to go see this movie, pretty much. I saw like again on the trailer wise, I think I saw only up to like where they kind of show the saving the cat out of a tree, and I'm like, all right. So I basically went in kind of blind. I didn't really know much. I didn't know really much of scenes or what other characters are going on, and I love this movie a lot. It's really fun. It's a really fun movie, and it's really cool too because from the get-go, you could tell that like, yes, we're in a cartoony-ass world where I think the main character is the literal big bad wolf, or I don't know if he is or not, or if it's just like an idea of like, oh, all wolves are evil or something like that. I don't know if that's the case. I feel like that was like the one fairy tale thing. I'm like, all right, so are all these characters like somehow tied to a fairy tale somehow? And it's like, no, I don't think there are, but but still, like, watch it, like, and like, oh no, but then, watching more of this, I'm like, huh. Like, because the one thing I would say, the animation I love a lot. Like, I love the mix of 3D with 2D. I think this movie does it really well. Like, I think the eyes are always 2D while everything else is basically 3D. Some special effects, I believe, are 2D, which I love always that mix of things. What was the other thing? The human designs are pretty cool too, because like they kind of give off that old anime feel to it. Like I don't know if shows are like going like, oh yeah, we're like I grew up with anime, like the classic anime, like that. Like I'm gonna make some characters like that, and like I'd say it's something similar to that. Similar like how Turning Red is kind of that similar thing, or if it's like. We want to make the humans look bubbly and kind of cute, so we're gonna kind of, like watching this. I kind of realized how much of like Steven Universe kind of has that quality to it, like where if like it was made back in the day, it probably would look like an old fashioned like anime. So I don't know if that oh, we're trying to make them cute and cuddly, and so like that, or if it's just like, oh no, here's this, but I don't know. Big Bad Wolf, I love. Snake, I love the entire crew. And I love this movie a lot for a few reasons. One, I love thieves. I love thieves a lot. And two, this is probably the closest thing we're going to get to Sly Cooper. To the Sly Cooper movie. Like, legitimately, I'm watching this, I'm like, oh my god, it's Sly Cooper. Like, you have Big Bad Wolf instead of Raccoon on one side. You have the crew, and then you have the fox who's on the side of Law, who's also very acrobatic and like somewhat freaking powerful. Which I also do love the absurdity of a lot of the things where like these characters go in disguise, and like Wolf just has like a mustache and maybe a hat, and that completely disguises him. Same thing with like the shark guy, and like. Spider. I think Spider and Wolf are my two favorites. Or Webbs and Wolf are my two favorites. I love Webb's design, which also because the voice actress, if I'm correct, it's the same voice actress that does the dragon and Rhea Sishu is the same does for her, as well as is the best friend of the hell is his name. The guy with the chi rings. I can't remember his name. Shang-Chi. Best friend, like, I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah, like watching that, like her as Sifu. I don't know. I'm probably messing that up. Like I'm like okay, like at least for me, like it. I mind you, I like Raya, and I really love like the story and ideas in there. Um, it was just kind of like her. She was just very much like that genie character, but like done okay. It was done okay. I'm like, I don't know. And then you have her in Shang-Chi, where I was just like, I'm like, the comedy's not really landing for me with her and all this stuff. This, yeah, it worked. It worked a lot. Like I think they used her right. They used her well in this, or she at least did the. Not say she didn't do the other roles well. That's not saying that, but I think it worked really well in this. Again, the character designs I actually really like. Uh, Even certain characters, I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, okay, like, oh, okay. And this movie actually has some really good twists. Like, first off, like, here's what I knew coming into the movie, just straight coming in. They're the bad guys. They're the bad guys, and they get caught somehow. I didn't see how they got caught, but I knew like, okay, they're gonna get caught at some point, and then they try to rehabilitate them to be good guys. That's all I knew. That's all I knew going in. So I like, if there was anything else extra, like whatever, or like the trailer came in, I didn't see nothing like that. I just saw it straight this, that's all I knew. So like, when they like, I think kind of the first twist I want to say is like when, Mr. Guinea Pig guy goes, okay, I'm gonna make them be good guys. Also the chief is great because he's like, and then she's like, no, he put that in your head, and he's like, what do you mean? He came up with the idea because you put it there. I'm like, yeah, that's great, and I always love the thief where like the oh wait, I need to talk about. Anyways, I'll bring it up in a second. But so, and basically, he says, oh, I'm having a gala, this thing, I can bring my, I can show how good they are there and all this stuff. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, first off, I need to, I'm like, all right, yeah. And as soon as they, she said that, I'm like, all right, bad movie or cliche movie is like, they go to the gala and like that's where they prove that they're good guys, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. It's like, and then no, like, Wolf, betrays them and stuff like that. And, but I was like, all right, yeah, something is gonna obviously happen here, especially with like, also I love the visual storytelling. I want to bring that up real quick. I'll bring it up in a minute. But I'm like, okay, fine. Like, are we gonna get like most of the movie them trying to be made good guys or something, and like slowly kind of revealing it, or and then obviously it'll probably be some kind of twist. There's gonna be a twist somewhere, especially with the guinea pig, because spoilers, I guess. Spoilers for this movie. Go watch it. Like I watched the movie. I'm like, all right, the guinea pig's evil. I'm like, the guinea pig's evil, like, right off the back. I'm like, and like, soon as, like, also when, like, the character said, like, oh, Red Paw was never caught. I think that was the name. Like, Red Paw was never caught trying to catch the golden dolphin and shit. And I'm just like, okay, so the guinea pig is Red Paw, and, like, he's figuring out a way to steal it, like, by, like, being good. Like, all the time, it's like the long con or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. That was my thought process. And also, like, the whole thing. And then, I'm like, that was my thought process. I actually didn't... when who Red Paw is does pop up, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I'm an idiot. How did I miss that? And I'm like, like, because I knew the guinea pig was evil. I knew that immediately. I'm like, all right. I was also waiting for Snake to eat the guinea pig for, like, the whole thing with him, like, having addiction of eating guinea pigs. I don't know if, like, if it ended, like, a much darker way where, like, Snake eats the guinea pig. And I'm like, okay. But there's that whole thing. And the thing is, that was like the very first twist. And like during like right before Wolf gets caught he helps an old lady and like he feels like, oh, helping people feels good. I'm like, all right. And then, like that was the first, like that was for them. I'm like, all right. Like the first twist was that like at the very end, like I'm like, all right, they're really bringing up about this meteorite that fell, which good storytelling because like the first like scene of the movie is a car chase, and you do a zoom out of the city, and you see a giant crater that's there, and I'm like, huh, I'm like, that's interesting. Weird, but interesting. But yeah, big ass car chase. Actually, the first scene is Snake and Wolf like just having a talk, like eating breakfast basically, and it's kind of cool. Like this movie is shot like a thief movie. Like it is shot like a regular ass, like not a regular ass, but it is shot like a thief movie, not just like a kids movie or whatever. It's shot like a thief movie. From like the shots of the car driving to some of the car chase scenes. Obviously, then you have some cartoon wackiness going on, which I love. But like, I'm like, I like the cinematography in this. I love that a lot. But yeah, and basically, the whole thing where, like the setups in this are so good to the point where like, something gets stolen, the guys go, it wasn't us, and then a thing goes off going, see ya, suckers. I'm like, all right, that's pretty funny. To certain like twists that happen where it's like this character, like it's like, oh, you're such a good boy, and then he's like, wait a minute, and then he goes, and then like it pulls back like to when that happens in the early movie, you're like, oh shit. I'm like, I thought the whole twist was that he was like, here's the thing, the big twist I thought was he's Red Paul, which I think, nothing against certain Disney things, but I feel like Disney would have just made that. You know what? I'm pretty sure that would have been the twist for Disney. If Disney would have made this movie, the big twist was, oh my god, the guinea pig was Red Paw, and that's it. And only reason I say that is because of Big Hero 6, which I love that movie too. But if you would have asked me who was going to be the bad guy, I would not have said the obviously bad guy, which, was the old guy. Like, I would have said it was Tadashi. And, like, my thought process was going to be like, oh, okay, like maybe the obviously bad guy is the actual bad guy, but for some reason he's controlling, somehow he got, obviously, the nanotech as well as maybe amnesiac Tadashi or something like that, and Tadashi is the one doing it, because I think it would have been way more poetic if it was Hiro with his brother's technology versus, Tadashi with his brother's technology. Like, fighting each other. And, like, mind you, like, Tadashi could have been good at the end or whatnot. But, yeah, that was my thought process on that. I wouldn't have thought, like, the obviously evil bad guy was evil. This, I'm like, okay, the obviously evil guinea pig is evil. And then it's like, oh, shit, like, he was actually playing, like, a game, like, way before I even thought there was a game to play. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I'm like, okay, I like that twist. And then it gets so much greater when, like, other things happen where there's a character, or there's like kind of a redemption thing, and I'm like, I don't know if this character, like, there's kind of like what is it, the sniper from the Bad Batch. It's kind of like a little bit of something like that, where it's like, oh, the betrayal, and it's like, no, we can't do this without him. And I'm like, he did betray you, like, he's got to do something like to kind of like redeem himself, not just like, oh, come back with us kind of thing. Although I will say, like, that's some good-ass friends that they did just go, like, we can't do this without him, even if he backstabbed us. I'm like, okay, I like this. But then you find out later on that there's a twist within the twist, and you're like, I was thinking about that when he put that on. I'm like, okay. And then there's even another twist beyond that twist, and, like, he's like, huh. And then the other guy's like, who made you think, who do you think put that there? And he's like, no. He's like, that just drives off. I'm like, hell yes. This movie has like a twist within a freaking funny twist. And I'm like, all right, they're having fun with the whole idea of like thief movies where it's like, like, it's like, oh, this was planned this far in advance. And then also tricking us in other ways too, where like, let's say, like, like a character gets arrested for something they didn't commit, and I'm just like, huh. I'm like, that's a smart way to do this. My only gripe with this movie, and there's not many gripes, and I get the whole idea, stealing is bad. You will probably never be able to convince me. A good thief. So I'm saying, I'm not saying someone who steals to kill or whatever and steals things. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying a thief like Sly Cooper. Well, I guess, no, I would say Sly Cooper doesn't kill. Technically speaking, you just say he knocked all the guys out. Characters like Sly Cooper, characters like these guys, characters like Sly Cooper, Robin Hood, and stuff like that, You're never going to convince me, oh, they're criminals. You're never going to convince me of that. Don't even try. I don't see them as criminals. These guys, yeah, they steal. Sure, why not? They didn't kill anyone, so I'm okay. As long as the thief never kills anyone, I'm kind of okay, depending on what they steal. Again, it's kind of the Sly Cooper effect, where it's like, if you steal from regular people, you're kind of a jerk. You're a jerk. If you're stealing from thieves themselves, then we have some, but we're in a ballpark. We're in a different ballpark. We're in the honorable thief ballpark. Or just the honestly, like even Sly and his crew like stole shit from museums and stuff. Which, come on, like I'm sure like a lot of the people they stole from probably did some bad things. I'm just going I don't think. Well, they stole from a shit ton of rich people. They're fine. They have all their jewelry and shit insured. You're never going to convince me, like, thieves are bad guys, in a sense. I do love, like, when they're eating, again, like, just opening up in the diner thing, it's just like, this is a different way to open up I'm sure there's some kids movie that this is a different way to open up a kids movie, but I like it. It's like saying, like, okay, yeah, we're taking it serious. Like, this is a scene, like, you'd probably see in the beginning of any other thief movie. And I like that. But yeah, I kind of probably spoiled some things, just saying like the twist within the twist within the twist. But it is really good, especially like certain character reveals when like when who Red Paw is revealed, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I like that. I'm like I like that a lot. I like that a lot, and I like the and like the whole idea is, I guess, don't judge. And it's kind of like. It's kind of like Zootopia in a sense, where it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not saying that by the animals idea, though. Like, it is kind of like, oh, they're judging all of us like predators by this. Also, do tarantulas make webs? Because they named Miss Tarantula Webs. Do tarantulas make webs?
According to National Geographic, tarantulas don't spin typical spider webs, but often use their silk to line or protect their burrows.
Oh, so I guess technically they do. Okay. No, yeah, because I was just thinking like they call Miss Tarantula webs, but I don't think tarantulas shoot webs. I guess they do. Because I was like, I'm about to say, that's kind of like stereotyping, ain't it? But the characters are fun too, the humor with all of them. This world like isn't like something like Zootopia, where it's like, like we really thought so much into the world with like oh, this is how the animals evolved and stuff. Like it's the way it's like there's regular guinea pigs, and there's the talking little one. There's, the big bad wolf and all these guys, but then everyone else is like regular ass humans, which I'm okay with that in this, because I'm okay with that in this. I like that in this. I can believe that way more in this universe, rather than something like I go see Sing, and I'm just like, especially because Sing came out right after Zootopia, so I was just like, I don't understand how a lot of this guy, like, and I get it, kid cartoon, talking animals, whatever. But it's just again, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. This I loved a lot. I love the story of this. I love the story with these guys, like their crew being like a family. I liked, what point where like it's kind of the liar reveal thing, and it's not to bring up something like it. It's bring it again. Sing, where it's like liar reveal, and then like 2 seconds later, like, we forgive you. Like, literally, almost like 2 seconds later, like, there's it feels like a piece of that movie is missing. This movie, I think, this movie does it way better, because, like, you see Wolf literally going, like, I just lost my family. Like, I screwed up and just literally lost my family. And I like that. I don't kind of agree with the bit where, like, the bit where, Miss Fox goes, if they don't, I can't remember. Did she say something about if you're not being good or whatever? I don't know. I do like some bits of that. Again, some kind of twist, or like messing with a trope. Like there is kind of like obviously the liar reveal thing with Mr. Wolf, or the big bad wolf, but there's a bit where Mr. Guinea Pig goes, you might have to cut your friends loose to be a good guy. And I don't think Wolf doesn't even for a second believe that. I do not believe for a second he was actually gonna like ever betray his friends that way. Like, yeah, he didn't press the button, do whatever, but he's doing that because it's like, look, we can do this for a better thing. It's not like, I'm going to leave you guys behind so I can do my own thing. No, I do like that a lot. And like, even though I will say, like, I do not agree with selling out, like giving them all your shit, like all gold and all the things you stole, but it is a good way to have the governor realize, okay, yeah, they are like, we screwed up, not them. Like, they're being framed. So I like that, but also like, you guys kind of stole that all together, and you kind of just screwed your friends out of that. But I do like them slowly like figuring out that they're good guys, and like their tails wag, which is really great. Like Miss Tarantula's just adorable. She's like, what is that? What is this? I'm like I'm like the when they're doing the good stealing and like they're dressed up in the onesies is really funny to me. It's really funny to me. It's cute. And I saw the Miss Tarantula one, like, or her little cat one. I'm like, I want a stuffed animal of her, and they have one, and I bought it. I don't have it with me. I ordered it. But yeah, it was fun. I was like, oh, I'm like, that's adorable. But yeah, like, and also like the wolf in literal sheep's clothing is freaking great. Let's see, the big bad wolf. Miss Fox being from, I believe, maybe Japan, maybe, I don't know. But I did like this movie a lot. Again, the animation's really damn good. The main officer character, I also is kind of really funny because like it is that straight like, whatever. Also, I don't agree with them going to jail. Because again, you're not going to convince me that these guys, like, a thief deserves the, like, especially these thieves who kind of saved the planet, which I guess, and not say the planet saved, like, the children and adopted, whatever. I'm not going to, like, I would rather than be like, all right, community service in the sense of you guys are going to help steal from bigger thieves or something like that. I would personally like that. Like, if there was a TV show of this that gets picked up, it's made by DreamWorks, so it might be in the works with Netflix, honestly. I don't know, Netflix is kind of doing some shitty things right now, but I would love to see like a bad guys one where it is like, them stealing from other thieves and stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of badass. Also, I do love that you can kind of see what each guy kind of brings to the table too, with like Mr. Wolf being the planner while also being the getaway driver. Obviously you have Shark as the disguise guy, Tarantula as the techie, the piranha guy who's the smallest being the muscle, and Mr. Snake as being like obviously like this. He felt like very much like he'd be played like by an older gentleman if this was like a live action thing, which is really cool. But like he's like the like more retired kind of, but like he's like the stealthy one. He's him and Mr. Wolf are both like the thieves. But yeah, this was cool. If they ever come out with a bad guys game, I would love to play it. And also like, if they ever come out with the Sly Cooper movie, this is a good basis for that. Like it is like, again, I legitimately was watching this and I'm like, yeah, this is the Sly Cooper movie we probably could have gotten. And yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, it was great. It's fun. Like it takes like obviously there's some like fart jokes stuff like that, which isn't bad because they use that to really good. Like, it's not just, oh, fart joke. It's like, no, there's a literal like consequence to a fart joke, as well as like certain things that like happen that work out because of it. And I'm like, all right, like these writers know what they're doing, and I enjoy that. Like this felt like a really, like, again, nothing against Disney right now, kind of some things against Disney, but I feel like Disney would have just went, oh, the guinea pig is the bad guy, and he was Red Paw the whole time. Where this, on the other hand, like, does not go for that. Like, there is obviously, like, oh, the bad guy, and it's like, I kind of saw that a mile away. But to the extent of, the extent of manipulation that goes on, I'm just like, I didn't see that coming. And then And then like the other manipulation, and then the other manipulation on top of that, where like immediately redeems this one character, and I'm like, okay. And yeah, they went to jail, which I'm like, eh. Again, like I would have preferred more like, you guys are gonna work together, which I guess they could towards the end. Like it's just like, oh, now, whatever. I don't know. I would have preferred them not having to get sent to jail, but that's just me on that part. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I like this movie a lot. Make a raccoon, give him a cane, turtle, hippo. Let's get the Sly Cooper movie. Come on, DreamWorks. Yeah, you did this. You could easily do a Sly Cooper movie. I don't know, but tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. And again, the animation is great. The storytelling with like the giant crater, it's freaking awesome. But thanks for watching particular videos, and also the car just dropping. Anyways, and we will see you later. Also, I just love like the whole like. Quick like, I got your phone, like, or like just how quick Mr. Wolf was able to steal like jewelry off people and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I love thieves.